Yeah, if you get scar tissue in the body, it's like, I guess that's another place where a healing aspect of the body can go wrong, is that scar tissue is great if we get injured because it's its first attempt to heal itself and repair and prevent further damage, right? But if we don't move the scar tissue and it just gets more scar tissue, more scar tissue, more scar tissue, then we get immobility in the body. So it's so great after you get injured to start moving as quickly as possible without doing more damage. Actually, in I think just about every hospital in America now, after you have surgery, you're walking, right? The next day, if not that day, most surgeries that day, definitely the next day. Even if you have a 10-hour surgery, right? You're under for 10 hours and they're working on the body, whatever they're doing, you're going to be walking the next day up and down the hall, because the movement is so important for the health of the body. Movement helps blood flow, movement helps the scar tissue from kind of seizing things up. It's like so important to move. It's like so interesting. One of my friends just had heart surgery 2 days ago. He had a valve replacement, and so they say you can't heal. The body won't be able to heal itself, so we need to replace the valve, right? And then it's like after surgery, you're in the hospital for 4 or 5 days, and then they send you home and say, "Oh, the body will heal itself." Because they cut you so open, and it's just a little ironic to me that on one regard they feel that there's no way the body can heal itself, but then on the other regard they rely so much on the body healing itself. It's like, so walking and moving is like so, it's recognized that it's so important. It's like such a big part of the healing process that in every hospital, even though it could be the worst 10 minutes of your life, because it could be so painful to do it, it's so important to do it and move. Movement is so important. Even just walking for 10 minutes, right? We don't even really call it walking, you're like hobbling, right? But just having that movement. And so with scar tissue, if you do get injured, like you don't want to do more damage by doing movement, but you don't want to totally go off. Like they don't really do casts nearly as much as they used to, right? There's more temporary casts and for a less period of time.
Yeah, they have a soft cast.
Yeah.
With a boot, and they want it I walked.
Yeah.
I had to.
Yeah.
They encourage shoes and crutches.
Yeah.
I was on my feet a lot, but they also said that.
Yeah. It's like the movement. So much of the body's healing ability relies on movement of the body. Because I guess evolutionarily it could do that because we were always moving, right? We're always moving. So the body could count on that to be part of the healing process. Today's different, right? We're not always moving as much, so that kind of aspect of the healing process is severely slowed. So one thing we can do to stay healthier is just move more. It doesn't have to be anything fancy, just go for a walk, right? It's like, chemicals that are released in the body when we exercise, they're the exact same chemicals that they give you if you have depression or, right? It's like the exact same chemicals are released in the body naturally if you exercise as if they give you some antidepressant drugs. It's the exact same thing. So it's like exercise is so necessary, or movement so necessary for the health of the body, but also the health of the mind. Both. It's like, and then also, there's one great book. It talks about how tradition, or like thousands of years ago, thousands and thousands, as we were evolving, basically there's a hunter-gatherer culture. So they would be basically walking all day long and eating very little. So mostly exercising and very little eating. And that was what the body was good at, right? The body was good at staying healthy if you exercise a lot and eat a little. And now we're the opposite, right? We eat a lot and we exercise very little. So it's like a mismatch. So there's lots of, he called it mismatched diseases. Contagious, yeah. So they're not contagious diseases that we get from other people. They're just, we give them to ourselves by not exercising and eating too much. So then the idea is that the solution is quite easy, right? Exercise more and eat less, right? Exercise more and eat less. And then that's what the body has been designed to do, so the body will be able to stay healthier if we do that. Otherwise, it's very stressful for the body to eat a lot and not get much exercise. Eventually, we'll evolve that way, right? We would evolve. But the evolution of the body hasn't been able to evolve fast enough to the changes in our, our environment, our culture. The body hasn't caught up to the culture.
Oh, that's why you've been missing.
Yeah. So it's fairly recent, and then now we see a huge explosion of a lot of these diseases that the body can't stay healthy because we're not, giving it the environment that it needs to stay healthy, which is part of, I don't know how yoga plays in under that guise. Traditionally yoga was practiced primarily just as a mental practice to calm the mind. And they would do asana to help quiet the mind, and they would eat food that helps quiet the mind. But asana is exercise, so it is moving the body, so it could help that way. And then, healthy eating, you're going to be more aware of what you eat and how much you eat, and eating more healthy. So it would help as well under that same line of thinking.